Wyndham, how'd you kind of characterize the round today?
Grinding. This course with the new greens and with how high the rough is, if you don't hit the fairway, it's tough. And I had a little stretch where I missed the fairway by like a yard or two, and you have to really grind to make pars. But, I made a lot of good putts. But, I'm really pleased with how I started.
You talked yesterday about a conversation with John about, getting back to some old stuff, ball striking-wise. When was that conversation, and then what's the results of that?
I would say kind of right around the U.S. Open is when we started kind of going back to some old things. And I'd say right as Travelers started, we really started hitting some good shots. And we really, since Travelers, have played some nice golf. We just hadn't put it together for 4 rounds.
You've been in the Jailbird forever. What did it kind of take to get into the lab, or what was the...
I've been trying the lab, honestly, for 4 or 5 years at home. I would mess with it all the time. I played 2 tournaments with it maybe about 4 years ago. But it was always the big one, and I didn't personally like the big one. And so when they came out the small one, I still always liked it. JJ Spawn and I practiced a lot at Whisperock, and sometimes I would grab his and just hit with it. And then I putted just very average this year. And in Detroit, I went to the putting green on Monday and just tried a million different putters, and the lab was the best one. And we really started making some nice putts.
With where you are in the FedEx Cup and how important being inside the top 50 is, does this tournament become even more important than, say, sometimes even making it to the Tour Championship because of what you get if you make it inside the top 50, make it to BMW?
Yeah, it's kind of seemed that way. The goal is always the Tour Championship, but that top 50 sets you up really well for the next year. I still want to try to get the Tour Championship, but making it to next week is obviously the first goal.
Wyndham, I know you just spoke about how the greens are since they did the renovations. What different approaches did you take this round and throughout the practice rounds just to get ready compared to years in the past here in Memphis?
Yeah, so it always was really tough to make putts here because of the grain change. It was so difficult, but the greens were way more receptive, and so you could be in the rough anywhere and you could hit a good shot. Now the greens are really pure, so it's easier to make putts, but the greens are super firm, and if you hit in the rough, you almost can't hold the green. So pretty much if you hit in the rough, you're looking where's the best place to get up and down, and you need green to work with. So that's probably the biggest adjustment, and I feel like today we did a good job with that. When you got into a bad spot, we gave ourselves the opportunity to get up and down.
And quickly, we've been asking everybody, when was the last time that you played, were you paid for a round of golf?
I paid Troon in Arizona about 2 years ago, charged me, and I was shocked. But I paid $75, and they said it was a good discount, which I think it is. But I was really shocked. But prior to that, it's been 7-8 years.
You talked at the Open about just dealing with the expectations after all the success the last 2 years. What have you maybe kind of learned about dealing with those expectations, or have you changed a mental approach to deal with them, or you feel like you're handling them better?
I think a little bit was I got so focused on score and, making Ryder-Cup teams and points and Comcast and whatever and outside stuff of all the sponsorship things. And really what I've done is just gotten back to what I do daily on the practice area. And then when I go out and play, that's all I'm focusing on, and really not worried about any sort of outcomes.
Returning to the recipe that kind of led to that success?
Yeah, not that I would ever leave that. It's just, it's not, I know I had a lot of success at 23 and 24, and I wasn't trying to change or do anything different. You just sometimes get sidetracked, and, you think you're doing those things, but then you realize you're still focused on certain things. So, I'm really trying to just get back into my little tunnel vision and not really look what's going on around me.
Thanks, Wyndham.
Good. Thanks, guys.